6 vegetables to grow for survival. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Art of Creation Homestead. If you're not familiar with us, my name is Jason. We live in Southwest Ohio on an average half-acre lot, and what we want to talk to you today about is the 6 crops to grow, 6 vegetables to grow for survival. Okay, I understand that the survival and food shortages and things of that nature, and growing your own food is a big deal right now. And we are not. I want to preface this and tell you we are not preppers. Okay. But we do believe in being prepared for situations and being the most self-sufficient as you possibly can be. So I'm going to turn off my garden fence and talk to you about the 6 vegetables to grow for survival, or maybe 6 vegetable seeds for survival, right? First off, I'm going to tell you green beans. Green beans are easy to grow, and they can grow really quickly, and they're super nutritious, super easy to save seeds from. They handle diseases. They're not very they don't have a whole lot of diseases to deal with. You can get a whole lot of them in a short amount of time. As you can see here, these are contender beans, bush beans, and they go about 60 days. About 60 days you're going to get a harvest. And so easy to preserve, easy to save seeds from, handle conditions very well, can grow a lot in a small space, can grow really fast, all those things, right? So that's also the criteria, by the way. I want to intro with that. But the criteria is, can you save seeds? Can they handle conditions well? Can you preserve them really well? You know, are they nutritious? All these things, right? So green beans, one of my favorite vegetables, but also one of the best vegetables to grow for survival. The second vegetable is tomatoes. Now, while it may seem cliche, green beans and tomatoes may seem cliche, right? But it's honestly just real too. You can, when you grow tomatoes, you can save the seeds very easily. Heirloom tomatoes that have not cross-pollinated, which by the way means don't need to have, if you have 2 different varieties close by to each other, they can cross-pollinate, and so you're going to suffer tomato genetics by letting them cross-pollinate. But if you have one variety of heirloom tomato, you're not going to have any issues cross-pollinating. So tomatoes, heirloom tomatoes, mind you, would be one of the absolute best crops to grow, because they're usable in so many different ways. You know, make sauces, eat fresh. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with them. And they're easily canned, easily can do all these things. You can water bath can them instead of pressure can them, right? So you wouldn't have to have a pressure canner necessarily. It's so easy to grow. I mean, now you do have to the disease can be an issue with them sometimes, but you can grow so much with just one seed. I mean, you got to think, one tomato seed is going to produce this tomato plant that can also produce several tomatoes, right? So a good heirloom tomato is a great vegetable to grow for survival. The third one is summer squash. Right here we have some summer squashes planted in a raised bed. Now summer squash can mean zucchini or yellow squash. And we have several planted, and here's the deal, we planted 2 seeds of each one in each spot, and we're gonna thin the one we do not want, right? So we're gonna thin the lesser. We have 2 together. This has more leaves, so boop, he gone. Again, it might seem cliche to say zucchini and yellow squash. Okay, you're right. So summer squashes are a typical vegetable you're gonna see in every garden, especially southern gardens. But I mean, the people who love to grow food are gonna grow a lot of squash and zucchini. They're super nutritious, easy to save seeds from. Again, right? And they're more usable than you think. A lot of people think, oh, I just got to fry them. I can make zucchini bread and fry yellow squash. There's so much things you can do with them. You can make noodles out of them, right? You can fry them, obviously. You can make bread, obviously. You can freeze them, right? You can freeze those vegetables and use them in use them in casseroles. Use them in and like sauteing them. There's a lot of things you can do with them, and they're better than you think, and crazy nutritious. Right? There's also great nutritional value in them. Really, a beautiful Italian variety for me. The zucchini is one of the best vegetables I can grow in my garden. So there we started off with 3 vegetables that most people grow. If you're growing a garden, a lot of people grow them. They're easy to find seeds for, and they seem a little cliche. obviously. Now, I'm gonna go over here and plant one vegetable while my chicken cackles that maybe you don't grow, but it's one of the most sustainable vegetables, one of the most sustainable seeds and vegetables you can grow in your garden. Sorry, had to get an egg. Last year we started growing a vegetable, a form of winter squash that is one of the absolute greatest vegetables I think we have. It's underused, highly undervalued, and not really known about by a lot of people. And it's the Cherokee Tan Pumpkin. It's not even really a pumpkin, but it is a pumpkin. It looks like a pumpkin, like a small pumpkin, but it's kind of more of a winter squash, but it's called Cherokee Tan Pumpkin. We saved our seeds from last year. They are a extraordinarily high producer. They're super nutrient dense. They're tolerant to every situation you put them in. They grow so many. You get so many squashes on one plant. Now they may vine for a while, but you can save the seeds from them. They seem resistant to squash bugs and vine borers. I don't know that there's anything that's going to stop them, because we didn't even take care of them the best way possible last year, and they produced like mad. And one thing about them is when they vine out, they'll like stick to the ground and produce roots and wherever they stick to. So like if you were to cut the vine from the base, it's going to continue to grow out there, because it's still getting sources of life out on the ground somewhere else. So it's hard to even kill it. You have to pull it all up out of the ground. It's amazing. And there's a reason why it's called Cherokee Tan Pumpkin, is because it's a tan variety and the Cherokee Indians took it with them on the Trail of Tears. So they knew, Cherokee Indians knew the value of these beautiful seeds, because these women, they carried them with them, like in their, they took their seeds and sewed them into their dresses or into their clothing, whatever they wore, you know, so that they wouldn't take their seeds, because, you know, obviously they were trying to get killed. They were trying to starve them out, right, and take them and put them in places where they wouldn't survive and thrive. But yet they took these seeds. Why? Because they knew the power of them. They knew how great these were. So I'm just gonna take them. I'm gonna plant a few seeds here while I'm going, because we haven't planted ours yet. Now I'm gonna plant them a little close together, and we're gonna thin the ones we don't want. Honestly, we're just putting them in a out of the way spot here behind our fruit trees, and I'm gonna plant several of them, and we'll, like I said, we'll thin to what we don't want. Cover them over lightly. Don't want to cover them too deep. Ground's really wet here already. Good dirt contact. So the Cherokee Tan Pumpkin, I would almost consider it a superfood, right? Along with this couple of these other things we're going to show you here. It's super nutritious, super easy to save seeds from. It handles all kinds of conditions. If you're wanting to survive, want to grow your own food, but you better get some Cherokee Tan Pumpkin seeds, along with some butter peas. Butter peas. Butter peas, butter peas, butter peas. I love them. Not grown enough. Handles drought. Handles adverse conditions. These are planted out of the way in my garden where they don't get enough sun. They're getting some pest pressure. See the little bugs, but they're going to handle that. I'm going to put some diatomaceous earth on them, and it's going to take care of that. We planted them really close together to handle some of that problem as well, so some of them die off or don't germinate. But they're great to grow. They handle this kind of tight quarters. They are super nutritious. They are going to produce a lot of little short pods. It has multiple, 2 or 3 butter peas in them. They are insanely delicious, rich flavor, full of nutritional value. A drought's not going to hurt them. Honestly, they're going to go right through it. I mean, they're amazing, amazing, amazing. And these are called Jackson Wonder. These are Jackson Wonder butter peas. We also have a variety up here called White Dixie butter peas. And you're not going to find a more valuable vegetable. I think those and the next one are the most valuable vegetables that you can get, along with Cherokee Tan Pumpkins. Okay, but again, save seeds from them. They're easy to deal with, easy to preserve, because you can grow. They grow until they become a dry bean, essentially. And you can leave them dry, store them that way. You can freeze them, and they can be canned if you want. It doesn't matter. But they're amazing. And there's a reason why these varieties of vegetables, especially these last three here, have been around for ages. There's a reason why people grew them in the Great Depression. There's a reason why slaves, when they came over, knew they had to have them. The reason why Cherokee Indians took vegetables with them, because they knew, they were smart enough to understand what they needed and the value in these seeds. Unfortunately, a lot of us today don't find that same value in them. And this last vegetable is the pink-eyed purple hull. Crowder pea, field pea, black-eyed pea. You know, there's a lot of names for these, but it's a crowder pea, a field pea, a southern pea. There's a lot of varieties for them. It is a form of black-eyed peas. There's black-eyed peas, pink-eyed purple hulls, red rippers. There's a lot of different varieties of this kind of pea. But again, most of us are going to know them as black-eyed peas, but there's so many varieties that are better, that are the same kind of pea, that are better than that. And then again, we're going to deal with some pest pressure, some bug pressure, but some diatomaceous earth can handle that. And they're going to handle drought conditions. They're going to grow straight up this trellis here and be a heavy producer. And they're going to go till fall, till frost. They can handle drought. They can handle bad soil. They can handle whatever you throw at them. They're going to be there, and they're going to produce, and this is going to feed your family. If you had to have something to feed them, that's going to work. They have protein value. They have fiber. They're rich in vitamins and minerals. They are amazing. So let's review, right? It's the quintessential green bean. It's the ever-loving tomato. It's everybody's overproducing summer squash and zucchini, so summer squash. It is the undervalued Cherokee Tan Pumpkin. It's the undervalued butter pea. It's the undervalued field pea, southern pea, crowder pea, whatever you want to call it. But we use pink-eyed purple hulls variety. Those 6 vegetables, you could feed an army with them. All right, you could take and feed your family for a year, no problem. Those 6 vegetables are the ones to grow if you need to survive. So thank you guys so much for watching. We do appreciate it. My name is Jason, Art of Creation Homestead. We love you all. God bless you. Goodbye.